Hey guys, this is Jeremy, and I am going to do a video on one of my favorite technical indicators. This is the Squeeze Pro, invented by John Carter. It is the histogram that you see at the bottom of this chart, as well as the little green, red, and sometimes yellow dots that appear underneath the histogram, and I will go over what the Squeeze Pro is and why it is beneficial, highly beneficial for you to use in trading. So, one of the things that traders often want to know is which direction is a stock going to go, and how do I know when to get in? And those are things that the Squeeze Pro indicator can help you achieve. What the Squeeze Pro does is it looks at an asset. You can use it on stocks, options, futures, etc. It looks at an asset and it looks at, okay, where is the momentum? And kind of the theory behind it is, if you see that, let's say a stock, for example, is currently in a phase where it's building up energy, you'll see it reflected on the Squeeze Pro. Um, and I'm looking at the version on TradingView, which is a free version. So the actual paid version that you can get from John Carter and his company um, is slightly different in terms of the colors of the dots, but fundamentally it still works the same. But the kind of theory behind it is, when you see that there is a red dot on the TradingView version, that's a sign that a stock is currently building up energy. There's multiple colored dots. There's a red dot, which is kind of like a stock has normal energy built up. If you see an orange dot, that's kind of like a low compression squeeze. And then if you see a yellow dot, that's the highest compression squeeze that you can get. And if a stock is compressed, eventually it has to let out that momentum, and that comes in the form of a stock making a big move. And if you can get in front of that and you can capture the big move, well, then that's great, and that's what every trader would love to do. So the squeeze typically works best um, when you pair it with a stacked moving average, as I have. So I'm on TradingView, and this is a chart of Google, and you can see that I have the stacked moving average indicator on my screen. And when you have the moving averages in order, so your 8 period moving average followed by your 21 period moving average followed by the 34, 55, and 89, that's typically when it works best, because you can kind of see the momentum of an asset. So when you see a squeeze break out on the long side, that is where you want to see the that's how you want to see the moving averages stacked in the correct order. And when they're not in the correct order, sometimes you can get a squeeze that fires, but it won't be as good as if you have the moving averages stacked in the correct order. So this is a chart of Google that we are currently looking at, and you can see that if we go back to April, I'm on the daily chart. So, well, actually, let's call it late March. So March the 27th, you see uh, a bunch of red dots, and then you eventually see an orange dot, and then this first green dot means that the squeeze has fired. So while you see all of these orange and red and sometimes yellow dots, that means that Google is building up energy, and you see it's not really doing much when you have these dots, but then when you get this first green dot, it starts to take off and run up because the squeeze has fired. And John Carter said, again, the creator of the Squeeze and the current version, the Squeeze Pro, is that in the time that he's been trading, and he's been trading for over 30 plus years, that a squeeze will typically last 8 to 10 bars. So if you are on a daily chart, that means 8 to 10 days. If you're on a weekly chart, 8 to 10 weeks. A monthly chart, 8 to 10 months, so on and so forth. So we see that Google fires here when the squeeze finally goes into effect. It takes off, and Google's just been on a nice daily uptrend. And the perfect time to get in would have been right here on like this second green dot. And again, this works for any asset. So I'm looking at a chart of Google. The squeeze works not only for longs, but it works for puts as well. Let's just look at another stock really quickly. That's Google. So let's look at Tesla. And typically when a squeeze fires, it will fire in the direction of the overall trend. So we have a low compression squeeze here, and we see that squeeze fires here, and Tesla was in a few days of upward momentum, fired here, and it had 2 days of going up, but then Tesla started to come down in the last few days. But again, the moving averages aren't stacked in the correct order. So if you go back a bit, let's see here. So you've got another squeeze all the way back in December. Squeeze fires here. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 bars of the stock increasing before it kind of starts to slow down a bit. And John has said before that typically by the time you see 2 dark blue bars, you should no longer be in a trade. So the cyan light blue bars mean that momentum is increasing in a stock. The dark blue bars mean that momentum is slowing. The dark red bars mean that there's strong bearish momentum. And the yellow bars mean that the bearish momentum is still there, but it's starting to slow down a bit. And typically when you see the yellow bars, that means that a reversal could be coming from bearish momentum slowing back to bullish momentum, as you can kind of see right here in Tesla in April. So we go from bearish momentum. Sorry about that. We go from bearish momentum to slowing bearish momentum to bullish momentum, because you see a lot of cyan. You get some dark blue bars, but you're getting majority cyan light blue bars, which means upward momentum. So if you scroll back on Tesla's chart, when you see the cyan bars, that typically means that you're going to see the stock increase and head upwards. So we can scroll back. Every time we see cyan bars, you see the stock is increasing. So on and so forth. So let's look at another stock. Let's look at, what do we want to look at? Let's look at Meta. And actually, I did say we can do this on any time frame. So let me go from the daily to the weekly chart. So if we go back to 2022, back when just about everything in the market was falling, you just see we have this long stretch of dark red and yellow bars, the bearish bars on the histogram. And you see every week almost Meta just starts falling and falling and falling. We have a squeeze here, and then it fires here, and it just continues to decline. Has some weeks where it goes up, but typically it's just declining and declining and declining. And here, so I use the exponential moving averages. So here, where you have the moving averages stacked in the correct order, because again, when you are looking at a stock and it's bearish, or you're looking to short a stock, you want to see the moving averages stacked in the reverse order from how you want to see them when you're looking to go long on a stock. So instead of the 8-period moving average followed by the 21, followed by 34, followed by 55, followed by 89, you want to see 89 followed by 55, followed by 34, followed by 21, followed by 8, like you see here with Meta. And then after it kind of comes out of this bearish funk, we get a bullish reversal here, because we go from dark red to yellow, and then Meta starts to increase. Then we see the light blue cyan bars, and then it just begins an uptrend. And again, when you start to see the moving averages stacked in the correct order, either on the long or the short side, that's typically when your squeezes are going to work best. We see a squeeze here, we see really high compression, followed by normal compression, followed by light compression. It fires here, and then we just have a lot of green bars, meaning that the stock is headed higher. So again, you can use this on any asset. I find it really helpful for long-term trading. I use it for swing trading. I use it for day trading, and it is a tool that has really helped me to understand just trading in general. Before I found the squeeze, I was kind of searching for indicators that worked best for me, and I just couldn't I couldn't really get the one that worked best until I found the Squeeze, and it made trading a whole lot easier, which I am grateful for. I never trade without it. This is on every one of my trading screens, along with my stack moving averages, and it has helped me become a much better and much profitable trader. You can find the Squeeze Pro on TradingView. It's also available on Thinkorswim and probably some other platforms as well, but I know you can find it on those two, and it's a really helpful tool that can help you with the momentum of a stock as well as the direction of a stock, and it is something that I would definitely recommend you check out if you're trying to find an indicator that will help you with your trading. I could not recommend the Squeeze Pro enough. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks, guys.